back seat. If you could wave to the cameras on the back. And now, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is the latest chapter in this 30-year arc. さあ、これからいよいよ、トム・クルーズさん、そして、クリストファー・マッカリー監督、そして、キャストの皆さん登場いたします。で、昨日も雨の中、無事にジャパンプレミアを終え、レッドカーペットでももうファンの皆様の熱狂が素晴らしかったです。そしてその後の、ジャパンプレミア、映画館でですね、お客さんと一緒にトム・クルーズさんも一緒にご覧になられたということで、終わった後にはなんとスタンディングオベーションが起こったということなんです。なかなか日本のこの映画館で映画を見終わった後にこうスタンディングオベーション起きるっていうのはなかなかないので、それだけ素晴らしい映画、皆さんのもうエキサイティングな気持ちが伝わったということです。それではご準備ができたということなのでお呼びしたいと思います。Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is the latest chapter in this 30-year arc, and this mission is the pinnacle of a personal journey Tom Cruise embarked on when he chose Mission Impossible as his first ever movie to produce. This is the Mission Impossible that can't be topped, and we are excited to welcome the producer and star, Mr. Tom Cruise! So welcome, Tom, and if you could grab the microphone next to you, if you could speak a few words to the audience.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I'm very excited to be back here. Thank you. Thank you. I've missed you all, so it's wonderful to be here.
Well, welcome to this press conference. So please have a seat. So thank you. So the still photographers will not be allowed to take pictures from now on. So I appreciate your understanding. Thank you for cooperation. So 写真は一度ここで、おやめになっていただけたらと思います。ありがとうございます。So now we'd like to keep on. And so last night, Tom, you had a big scale red carpet and you saw the movie together at the Japan premiere with all the audiences. And how was that?
It was extraordinary. It was so beautiful. The cast that were there last night, we waited to show it to them until we had this audience. So it was enormously special. McHugh and I have been working on it. You know, you have to understand, Dead Reckoning and The Final Reckoning, these two films, you know, along with Top Gun Maverick, we were working on them for 7 years.
Wow, 7 years.
It took 7 years.
Wow.
And we finished the film. The subtitles were done just days before.
So it was just out there and ready to go.
Yes, and it just takes a long time making these movies. They're very detailed and very challenging, and it was a magnificent night for all of us, for McHugh and I, and to see it with the audience and share in that and to receive the response. You know, it was amazing.
And the audience at the end of the movie was a standing ovation.
Yes. And I'd like to just take this moment to thank the audience for that. It meant a tremendous amount to me and McHugh and the whole cast. It's, you know, I make movies and McHugh and I make our films for audiences, and to receive that acknowledgement, that's our dream, to make people smile and lift their spirits and make them feel that, you know, they just were were sent to a different place and engage in cinema. So I will never forget that evening. I know on behalf of our cast and our crew, I just want everyone that was there and the whole audiences in Japan, I just want to thank you so much for that. I'll never forget it.
And it's such a rare gesture
Thank
for
you.
the Japanese audience to stand up and give a standing ovation. So it means so much. That means we enjoyed it so much.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you.
And we were waiting
Yes.
for this moment.
Thank you.
For you to come.
Thank you so much. And I've been waiting too. And I would also, if I could just take a moment, I would like to thank someone who's very special to me and very special to cinema here in Japan, Toda-san. Toda-san, where are you, Toda-san?
She's in the audience. 戸田さん、お立ちください。
Toda-san, who also, her and her
Thank
team
you.
worked very hard
Yes.
to do the subtitles, and you finished it just days before, Toda-san. And she has subtitled over 1,500 films in her career.
Yeah.
And she is receiving an award, the Order of the Rising Sun. So I would like to applaud you, Toda-san.
Thank you very much,
And
Tom.
thank you so much.
You're so
that you are
generous.
you've done all my movies and subtitled them and
Yeah.
translated for me. And
From the beginning.
yes, and we were born on the same day.
Same birthday.
So
Yeah,
thank you.
July the 3rd. Yeah. Thank you, Tom, for the kind words. Thank you very much. どうもありがとうございます。
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it means so much to all of us. Yes. And so this movie, I mean, I had the privilege to watch it in advance. It was just remarkable. I mean, it's so exciting. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Good.
And at the same time, so emotional. I was in tears throughout the movie because it's the sum of all the Mission Impossible series here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. For 30 years and what Christopher McQuarrie has done, I just think, look, everyone knows how I feel about him. He's an exceptional storyteller. And you see how he has interwoven the entire franchise into this and how the film has all led to this
Yes.
picture.
And you've mentioned before that you feel privileged to entertain audiences. And why is that? And what makes you the way you do it in mission movies so special to you?
You know, making movies is very
Movies.
special to me. It's something that it's not what I do, it is who I am. And to have a dream, I remember as a child, 4 years old, I wanted to make movies. And I wanted to travel the world, and I wanted to learn all of these things and learn about people and culture. And I wanted to fly jets and airplanes and parachutes and motorcycles and cars and you know, learn how to do samurai swords and so to be able to live my dream and to be accepted and allowed to entertain audiences, and it's something that I never take for granted. Ever, ever, ever. Every day on set, every day I'm preparing, I am thinking about this moment when an audience sits in that theater and watches it. And it is something that is a tremendous joy to me, and I have dedicated my life to it. It's everything that I do comes from it. I will learn a skill and then I'll apply it to cinema. And I love storytelling, so it is a privilege.
And what makes this Mission Impossible series so special to you?
It was the very first film I ever produced, and it's just been very interesting, the journey, making these movies. They're what I wanted. I was able to really explore motion, explore in a very unique way. It has everything for me where I get to take it and share different worlds, geography, and cultures with the world, which was my goal with Mission Impossible, where I get to challenge myself as a producer, as an actor, as a storyteller, with my stunts. So if every time I do the movie, I'm going, how do I make things better? How am I a better storyteller? How can I better produce these things? How can I be a better, a better artist to my cast, a better boss to my crew? To me, to lead is to serve. That is how I live my life, that it is something that I'm a constant student and also a teacher. But I those things that interest me. Not even before movies, I knew that, when you take things on and with the responsibility that I feel and the joy that I feel in creating these things. And with, it's been a tremendous honor and pleasure working with Christopher McQuarrie and our entire cast that is enormously talented and very giving and really gave it their all. But I expect that from myself, and I expect it from others that I work with. And making these movies, it's not just me, it's all of us together.
And much like the IMF team, our family, you have described Christopher McQuarrie as your creative brother.
He is my creative brother, yes.
And this is a partnership at its absolute peak. So the combination of everything you've done and learned together. So we'd like to welcome him here on stage. Now let's welcome writer and director of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Mr. Christopher McQuarrie. So if you could say a few words to the audience, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thanks very much. It's a lovely welcome.
Let's get some photos here.
You can look at the center. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Wave. And wave to Toda-san. Okay, the video cameras are at the back. Thank you very much. So please take a seat. Once again, welcome to this press conference.
Thank you very
Welcome,
much.
welcome. So now the still photographers will not be allowed to take pictures from now on. 写真は今からご遠慮ください。よろしくお願いします。And I would like to continue on with our talk. And so in this film, you literally had to face the elements in the sky and in underwater alongside Tom Cruise. And we would like to hear more about this profound and pioneering partnership with Tom.
It's one that I describe as a very long conversation about movies that's occasionally interrupted by production.
That is what it's like. We're
it's
always
very
talking
true.
stories. We drive to work together. We live together at times, like through COVID.
During the pandemic, yes, we were
The whole family.
quarantined together. Our families were quarantined together.
You were together?
Oh, the only time we saw the sun was walking to the car in the morning, and by the time we finished work, it was dark, and that was all during the pandemic. While we were working on, we were in Top Gun Maverick, in post on Top Gun Maverick, in production on Dead Reckoning, and in prep on the Final Reckoning.
Oh,
Yeah, we were doing all three movies at the same time.
and you're traveling together right now.
Yes.
Yes, always, and his family. So we're always we'll drive together to work every morning and just talk about the movies and stories and other movies that we're working on. We're always working on several other movies as we're shooting these movies.
Who drives?
Neither of us.
Neither of us.
He only drives on camera.
Oh, on camera.
Yes, yeah, I know. It's like sometimes we're going. Sometimes I'll drive you, or I'll fly you.
That is true.
I will fly you.
fly?
In Norway,
I will fly you.
Actually, in Norway, you had to drive us to work.
Yes,
That
that's
was the only
right.
way for us to get
Yes.
to work was
Oh, really?
for Tom to. Yes, Tom was my driver.
Yes, and I'm your
Felt very
pilot.
privileged.
I'll fly
And
you in
your
the helicopter and in airplanes. I'll
That is
fly you
true.
in airplanes.
Tom is also my pilot. He
Yes.
flies me to work every day.
I'm his driver, his pilot.
How do you feel about flying together? Like as a pilot, how is Tom Cruise compared to Ethan?
Well, so when you see him fly on camera, it's a little nerve-wracking to then fly to work off camera. But he separates the two. He doesn't forget.
I separate aerobatics. I warn you before I do it.
Yes, you
I say, would you like a little aerobatics in the helicopter this
There's
morning?
one time you did not warn
Oh,
me.
is that right?
Yes, you got my attention.
Which
You did
one?
not.
The
We were in your helicopter and you. I was looking out the window. We were in Norway.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and you
sorry
did a
about
very hard bank. And
that. Yeah, very hard bank. Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was
Really?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. I usually warn everyone before I
warn
do
everyone.
aerobatics.
Wow, that is also a moment.
He knows I can handle it. So
Oh, you can handle
Can
it.
handle it.
I mean, you take all his, you shoot all his movies, so you know about it.
I'm used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're used to it by now. And also here, Tom, I think you suggested that Christopher go out on the wing on the plane for this.
Yes,
film?
here's the thing about McHugh. When we were doing Top Gun Maverick, what I also love about him is his adventurous spirit. So he will go, and I flew him in my airplane, my P-51 and an L-39, and he went in different other fighter jets. And then on this film, we were talking about the wing walking, and we were coming up with, like, I took him through, because I'm an aerobatic pilot, it's like the airplane can do this, and there was a lot of choosing the airplane and testing the airplane, and it was years actually preparing this. And then we talked about story, and he was like, okay, I want you to go from here to here in a couple of seconds. I was like, I can't do that. He's like, okay, well, I want you to do this and this. I was like, I really can't do that.
And it was the simplest thing. Anything you would describe, he'd say, no, you actually can't do that.
I can't do that.
And I don't hear can't from him very
No,
often.
I said just in terms of the speed, because the force of the air for me to move quickly on the wing was, you just can't do it. You're limited by the physics of how fast the aircraft is traveling and the force of the wind. That was utterly brutal. So I just said, listen, I think the best thing is if you just do it. Go out, sit in the airplane, go out on the wing and feel it, feel the pressure. So here I am training him to go out, going through.
I had a 20-minute tutorial.
From
20-minute training?
20-minute
Okay.
tutorial on how to walk on the wing.
Yes, and he walked on
And
the
you
wing.
did
Oh, yeah.
the walk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How was the walk?
It was great, actually.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I would definitely do it again.
But he also understood when the wind hits you, you stop breathing.
Yeah.
Because the force of the wind, it's you don't realize, but you can't breathe the air in. It's too much force. So I had to find ways to figure out how to keep my breath going with the physical exertion of being on that wing. So now he had that reality. And it was also, when we were doing the underwater sequence, he's directing me underwater, which is very unusual. We're having the director under there, and we had hand signals and the same thing when I'm on the wing, we figured out hand signals. He was in a helicopter, and he would open the door, and we'd go hand signals back and forth so that I knew what was happening.
Like for example, what kind of?
Yes, and if there was any danger or there's trouble, or if there's with light, and he would direct me. We had hand signals for performance. Let's do it again. Are you okay? And I'd be like, I'm okay.
This was light and
This is I'm resting.
Yeah.
I'm resting on the wing. This is I'm in trouble.
I hope you didn't do that.
occasionally he would fix his hair.
Yeah, occasionally it was like, yeah, sometimes, we did it. It was very brutal being on the wing. It exhausted every muscle in the body. I can't describe it. Like, what I'm doing is not just walking on the wing. It is I'm acting and moving through space. And I trained the pilot to be able to take the aircraft inverted and 0G. And the aircraft, when we went inverted, the engine would stop. So, but all of these things we worked very carefully for a long period of time, and figuring out what I can do physically on it. And there were times I had no more energy. I couldn't if anyone's ever done the hardest weight work of their life where they can't move and their arms are shaking, that's what it was like after a few minutes on that wing doing those things. So I had to train my body in a way that it would quickly, the muscles would process and gain more fuel. So it was really fascinating and very intense and exhilarating and very, very challenging. I have never, look, many times in my life I put myself in a situation, and we've been in situations that have been like, or he'll put me in that situation where we have never experienced anything like this. And that's what it was like on this, with the aerial and with the submarine.
And when you mentioned the underwater sequence, so Christopher, you actually had a training for scuba diving.
Yes.
In order to go underwater and direct there,
Yes.
as to you could stay up on land and still direct.
Well, we had done that in the past. We'd done underwater sequences before, and what typically happens is the director is out of the water, and you're speaking through another person who's talking on a microphone to everybody underwater. There's a speaker under there, and everyone can hear. And I describe that as trying to fix a pocket watch while you're wearing boxing gloves, because you're talking through people. I can't see Tom where he is in physical relation to the camera. I can only see what the camera sees. And so you have no spatial awareness, and any time you want to have any minor change, everyone has to come out of the water, you talk about it. And so you could get about 6 shots a day. And that was very, very time consuming. And for what we wanted to do, we knew that wasn't enough. So we devised this program to start shooting where we were underwater, where I was underwater with Tom. And we were now shooting 22, 24 shots a day. We were shooting faster underwater than we were on land.
And that's the whole thing. You want to get as many shots as you can a day. Now, you have to understand, both of these sequences took years to develop. It's not just, it's developing and creating knowledge. The tanks that we had to build, the gimbals that we had to build for the underwater, and he and I are figuring out how we do it, and me figuring out just the oxygen intake, the carbon dioxide buildup, the weight of the suit. You know, there are times when it was wet that it weighed 125 to 150 pounds, and I'm having to do pull-ups and different things. When you see me going through that, it's how do I move through space? And what we'll do is we talk about things, and then we just start, I kind of work out what can I do, how do we do it, and then he and I are kind of working on the visual language, and he's seeing where the camera is, and can we do this? And we just go back and forth on it, because, look, movies, they're a living thing. You can be in a room and try to, particularly these kinds of films, try to draw a picture or a CGI of what things are. We don't do it that way. It's real, and you're dealing with physics. And so these kinds of things, we don't know what the shots are until...
Well, we've tried to do it that
Yes.
way. We animate the sequence. We animated the submarine. We animated the aerial sequence. When you got on location and you hit physics head first, none of what you planned is actually achievable. It's not real. And so we would have to then very quickly rethink what we were doing.
And what we do is, like, I've been doing underwater sequences since I made Legend, you know, so, and we've done several, and what we do is we do a sequence, and then we're looking at it and study and go, okay, how can we do it better? How can we do it better? What story can we tell with this? How can we do things better? We're constantly trying to improve ourselves to entertain an audience in a really emotional and spectacular way.
And that adds to that moment.
Yes. Yes.
And now, the audiences love seeing the team come back together to tackle the impossible in these epic movies. But in this mission, for the first time ever, that team is separated from their heroic leader across the far reaches of the planet. So let's reunite them with their leader right now on stage here. Please welcome Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Pom Clementieff, and Greg Tarzan Davis. Welcome, everyone. And now, if Haley, if you could give a few words, please. Yes. Oh, yeah. Can you get to close? Thank you. And we'll do a photo. We'll do a final photo shoot at the end as well. So, yeah. So, yes. So, if you could say some few words?
Of course, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. It's so exciting to be able to come and start the press tour here in Tokyo. We wanted to come before, and so be able to be here is really precious. And last night was the first time I saw the movie, so I got to see it with Japanese fans at the same time. And that was so wonderful to see it through your eyes. And thank you for your generosity and your support. We're so immensely proud of this movie and everything that it took. And I love being in it as much as I love watching it as an audience member. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Haley. And now Simon. Oh, there's a microphone right next to the chair. Yeah.
こんにちは。ありがとうございます。We've had a wonderful time. It's been so brief. We leave today, but it was such an honor to watch the film last night with a Japanese audience and feel the love in the room. It was quite incredible and somewhat moving. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Arigato.
Thank you, Simon. And next, Palm, if you could say a few words. I think there's a microphone right there.
Hello. I'm just very happy to be here and to share the movie with all the fans from Japan. I love this country. And yeah, I love you guys.
Thank you, Palm. And Tarzan?
This is my first time out here, and I've fallen in love with this country. I look forward to coming back, and it was amazing to share in that experience of this movie with all of you. We've seen it for the first time with y'all, and it was incredible to experience that. So thank you.
Thank you, Tarzan. So now if you could all take a seat, please. So thank you, still photographer. Please stop taking photos right now. 写真はここからご遠慮ください。また後ほどフォトセッションでよろしくお願いします。So now the whole team has reunited here. Welcome, all of you. Welcome.
Thank you.
So the IMF team has evolved throughout the mission. And how would you describe these characters' dynamic in the final reckoning? So, Simon, what would you say?
Well, this is my character Benji's first time leading a team, and he's given an assassin, a government agent, and a thief. So it's not the easiest team to wrangle, but it's so fun. These characters came into the story in the last film and are already so well drawn and so just brilliantly performed. And so it was an absolute pleasure to be their team leader.
How satisfied were you?
I was extremely satisfied. I think
We gotta don't give too much away the story. We gotta let them get the story. Yeah, no. They gotta see the movie, man. Way to go, Si. They gotta see the
sorry,
film.
spoiler alert. 20 years ago this year I shot my first scene for Mission Impossible. So it's the combination of so much work and experience and just wonderful times.
I saw him in Shaun of the Dead. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so talented. I really was like, do you want to come make Mission with me? You know, come on, man, come on. And he had, on the first day, he showed up and we gave him like a 3-page monologue.
On the first day?
On the first day.
That sounds
And we
like
rewrote
Mission.
it.
I know, on the morning of the shoot. And that was the first time I met Tom and Ving. They just strolled out of a door on set, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is real.
Yes.
And,
we were rewriting the monologue as he was saying it. And
yeah,
it's
and
wonderful how that all, and he was brilliant right from the beginning. His ability, you know, I just so admire his ability, his drama, his comedy, his teammanship with everyone. It's always a pleasure, you know, to work with him, and we love him.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah, you are amazing.
And
With
Haley-
all of these guys.
Yeah,
really.
with all of you.
Yes.
And Haley, how would you describe your character evolution?
In the first one, she spends the entire movie trying to get out of a Mission Impossible movie and try to get away from everyone. She doesn't know who to trust. She's always been a lone wolf, independent, hypervigilant. I think that comes from a sense of real fear of belonging to a team. She's never had the opportunity to do that. And so it takes the whole movie for Tom to convince her. And then at the beginning of this one, she's part of the team, but she's still untrained. She has kind of an unfocused skill. I think that she's capable of still making lots of mistakes because she doesn't really fully know how high the stakes are for everyone. And what I love about the emotion in the team dynamic is now that we're all working together, for Grace at least, it's an understanding that the cost of belonging means that she's now living with the fear of losing people that she loves. And that is the great potential sadness and the stake there is going, if when we do care about each other, it couldn't be scarier and more terrifying, the idea of losing each other. And so now she is living for beyond her own personal ambition and living with a greater sense of purpose and meaning, and realizing that we all need each other. We all have to depend on each other in order to do the work that we're setting out to do.
And Pom, your character.
Oh, my character. Oh.
And we gotta let them see the movie, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna
That's
say,
true.
I'm not gonna say much, but again, a little bit like Haley's character in the first movie. She was kind of like a lone wolf, and then she gets to share more scenes with the other characters. Gonna be very mysterious. So yeah, and you see a side of her that is more vulnerable in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about much as you can say, right?
Yeah, these guys are awesome. I just, you know what I mean.
Just make
It's
sure-
like
make sure.
You really like. You got to go see the
Okay,
movie.
go see the
They're
and
very-
Tarzan.
yes.
Of course, you play an important role in this team as well, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you see I play an important role in this team.
You do.
No.
That's why you're here, man.
That's why I'm here. No, the evolution of Degas, it was incredible to see him question something which I don't think we saw that in any of the other films. Somebody openly questioned if Ethan Hunt's character is making the right decisions, and we see that in the previous films. And in Final Reckoning, we see him make the decision on joining a particular side. I don't know how much I can say. I'm like nervous now.
We're all don't worry, man. We're all like we're the team. We're
we're
evolved.
okay,
It's
we're a
okay,
team.
man. I already
Great.
blew it.
We're a team. Yeah. So he made the right decision on fighting for the side with these lovely people up here, and I guess we'll see if their hard work pays off.
Yep. And that's about that's as much as you could say, right?
That is about it.
And
I've never had to, like, whenever I do interviews, I'm always nervous on what to say. And I always joke, like, if I say anything, Tom is going to swoop up and grab me. Right, Tom is right here. He's going to, like, shut up.
Press was easier
no.
yesterday when we hadn't seen the movie. So when we had questions, we were like, I don't know.
you could say it. And also,
No, we just we appreciate it. We just like to keep things for the audience.
Of course,
And
of
allow
course,
them to
yeah.
experience the characters because this is such a strong character film. It's like great to just allow them to experience it. So
yes, of course. And Tom, and also Christopher, you have said that one of your main goals on this was to create the truly global Mission Impossible. So where have you all traveled to make this
McHugh?
particular movie?
Africa, twice to
Twice.
Africa.
Drakensberg, Hoedspruit.
Yes, Drakensberg and Hoedspruit in South Africa. Svalbard in the Arctic Circle. We were shooting on the ice cap. We were interrupted several times a day by polar bears.
Like real?
Oh, yes, and we were all living on a boat moored to the ice cap. A polar bear tried to get on our boat. We were at the very edge of the world. Belgium, we shot a little bit in Belgium. Where else am I missing?
This one.
England.
And in the UK where we love shooting.
Yeah, and when you look at Dead Reckoning and this film, both it was Abu Dhabi and Norway and
Rome and Italy.
Rome
Venice, sorry.
and Venice.
Rome and Venice. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the combination, it's been quite a journey.
Like we mentioned the Arctic. I
Yes.
think Haley, you all lived together in an icebreaker ship and played cards together.
We did.
How was that
play-
experience?
It was the cards and like breaking bread with each other in the evening and just having that, being able to experience such a beautiful landscape in extreme weather conditions. It was minus 40 with the wind chill at some points. And we underwent lots of very important training to make sure we understood how to be safe out there on the ice. You know, we are standing and working on a frozen sea. And that I was working with dogs, and so the one thing that was so wonderful about working with animals is there is such a purity of, you know, if they trust you or not. They know if they like you or not. They're not polite, and you have to earn that respect and that trust from them. And so working with their handlers and what it asked of us to be in
And the
that
temperature
environment.
in the Arctic also for us to work in that. It was very unique in terms of handling the camera. What was the temperature, McHugh?
As Haley said, it was sometimes minus 40.
Yes, and your all's faces with the wind.
With the wind chill. And of
Yeah.
course,
Wind
we
chill.
brought our own wind. So
Well, I feel like
which
Tom
makes
was
everything
looking
harder.
for the polar bears. We were trying to avoid the polar
we
bears.
went on the
but you were
snowmobile.
trying-
Don't you
Yes.
remember, Paul?
Yes, I was
We
on
went
the
on
back
the
of the
snowmobile.
snowmobile, and he was like riding like so fast, and it was like in the back. I was like, oh my god, it goes so fast. But I'm not gonna complain because it's Tom. You know, I don't want to be like, you know what I mean. And and he was like, we have to find polar bears. I was like, yeah. I mean, do you think it's a great idea? I don't know. Yeah, let's look for polar bears.
But I remember the first time we're coming onto the set, and we had so many layers on to keep us warm, and we had flasks of hot tea and hot chocolate and anything we could to just keep making sure that we could do this safely and comfortably. And I remember coming on set and seeing McHugh for the first time, thinking it was McHugh because you just see a bit of kind of, you see goggles, and the only way I could recognize him is I saw his beard and his moustache, and it was fully icicled. So it was just like just this ice kind of mask that he was wearing, and I was like, "That's McHugh, I can see him." And it was just extraordinary to be there. I felt like I was in a moonstone, the light and how it would bounce off the snow, and knowing how that this is a place that most people don't get the chance to go to. It wasn't lost on me what a privileged experience it was to be in that environment, a place that many people had said it was impossible to shoot. So of course, that was an inevitable location for us.
Yeah, and the cameras
I
too.
like
They
that
had
word.
to,
You like that? Really? It's impossible? We're going there.
We're going.
Got to do that.
yeah, and you had to actually have the cameras working in that temperature. How is that preparation?
That was very challenging, and also the camera operators, because they couldn't wear the same level of gear in order to operate the camera. So everything you had to take into account, the level of exposure, how long you could be exposed. And we learned very quickly not to fight the environment. We went with a plan, like with everything else, and physics became the reality. And so we adjusted everything very quickly and learned how to work with the environment instead of fight it. And what we learned very quickly is when you do that, the Arctic gives back. And what we shot there was actually quite beautiful, really one of a kind. It's one of the most beautiful places we've shot.
And we get to see that in the movie, right?
Yes. Oh, it's in the film, every bit of it.
It's in the film, for sure. And now, from here on now, we'd like to take questions from the journalists here. And we have received questions in advance from the media. So we will announce the name of the media and the journalist. And when the microphone arrives, please ask your questions. ここからこちらの記者の方から、質問を伺っていきたいと思います。では、first we have 目覚まし TV from Fuji TV。目覚ましテレビの方、どこいらっしゃいますか？あ、ではお願いします。
はい、目覚ましテレビの幼いです。Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
ありがとう。
Thank you. 映画拝見しました。今作も呼吸を忘れるくらいスリル感満載ですごくドキドキしながら楽しむことができました。それでトム・クルーズさんと監督に質問です。アクションシーンのすごく過酷なアクションシーンの撮影があったと思うんですけれども、アクションシーンの撮影中にもうこれは無理かもしれないって思った瞬間はありましたか？
So the question is for Ms. Osanai. First of all, thank you for the film. She even forgot to breathe because it's so exhilarating, exciting. And with the question is for you, Tom and Chris. With so many eye-popping stunts and action set pieces, was there a moment? I mean, the word impossible seems to make you want to take on that challenge, but nevertheless, was there a moment where you filming the action where you actually went to each other, saw each other, and said, "Maybe this is impossible"?
Every time. Every time we're told it's impossible, you can't do it. I'm an aerobatic pilot. I'm a parachutes. I'm an expert diver, and every time when we got there, it was sometimes it was look. It was very challenging, and it's always very challenging. So we lived in that world.
Tom, I have very vivid memory of Tom suggesting one idea for the sequence towards the very end of the film, which you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you see it, and it involved very, very, very particular camera movements in an absolutely impossible environment. When Tom was doing an extreme stunt, and I said, "I'd love to do that. The camera equipment simply does not exist to get what you're talking about. We don't have the technology to do that." And typical of Tom, he said, "Well, we have to figure it out." And the next day, that camera equipment existed. Our team had built it. They created the technology for it. We designed it. We went up and rehearsed it. And by that afternoon, they were experts in this particular shot. It's the sort of thing that you've never seen anywhere else. You probably won't ever see it again, to see the lead actor of the movie doing this sort of thing. So we actually get excited when we look at something and say there's actually no way to do that. There always is, and we have a motto on the film. We say it all the time, and the characters say it in the movie all the time, which we'll figure it out, and we always do.
And that's what happens. And it's like we learn, and by the time we're done with it, we're experts at it. But when we start out, there's time, like, we don't know. The aerial sequence that you're going to see in this movie, we dreamed of it. We thought we could do it. You know, I understand an airplane and different things, but we said I wanted to move through space, and he and I were going, wouldn't it be cool? We didn't know until we started to test it if it would work. That's the truth. I mean, we know one thing: we're never going to give up, ever.
There's also a really important thing to note, which Tom does not point out, and I like to point out. You'll see in this aerial sequence, Tom is very often he's very often alone in the plane. There's time, and he's performing things in the plane, and things you won't notice, things that you won't pick up on as you're just watching the film. The camera is focusing on different things in the plane or different parts around Tom, and the lighting of those shots, everything specific to that, all the cinematography, the camera operating. It won't occur to you that there is actually no one else in the plane, that there's no one to be operating the camera, there's no one to be pulling focus on the camera, there's no one responsible for deciding where the light is. That's all Tom. We brief the shot. We know what the camera moves are, what the focus is, and then Tom goes up and is operating the focus in his own shots while flying the plane, while acting. All of those. He is a one-man aerial crew when you're watching all those shots, and it's something he won't point out, but I will point out to you.
But I'm on and he's in a helicopter watching it, and then he'll tell me, I'll be like, "Are you happy? Did we get it?" He's like, throw the focus a little faster.
I've never actually had to tell you to throw the focus faster. I always have
like,
to remind him to stop looking
smiling.
like he's having fun. That's the one note I have
true.
to give him all the time.
That is true.
Yeah.
Stop smiling so much. This is dangerous, what you're doing.
Haley does. I've got caught Haley a few times too. It's like, you look like you're having a little fun, Haley. You should remember to be scared. Yes.
Start enjoying yourself.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。では次の質問に参りましょう。So the next question is from TBS ニノなのに。お願いします。
So much. Hi, my name is Kaito Miyachika. Here
Hello.
on behalf of TBS is Nino Nanoni. Nice
Thank
to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Hello.
Yeah, that's action scenes have continued to outdo themselves with each film in the Mission Impossible series, and the suspense of how Ethan Hunt would get up each situation for in the final reckoning. Yes, and kept on in the edge of my seat the whole time. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As a performer myself in the boy band Travis Japan.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what it's like to work hard to develop a skill.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to know where your energy comes from for such a physical challenges and how you have kept your motivation through a lifetime of the incredible work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's absolute passion and love for what I do. It's not, as I said, it's not what I do, it's who I am. And my whole life, I set one goal, and when I've attained that goal, I set another goal, and I set another goal, always. For me, there's always another mountain, and I'm just so interested in people and life. And I love learning, and I love challenging myself. So, and it's something that I don't ask permission to create something. I just create it, no matter what. So that's kind of what we do. And I'm very fortunate that I have such good people around me that inspire me, that we inspire each other together. And that's, to me, what life is about. It's about learning. It's about learning about each other. It's about learning skills and applying it. And it's not that it's not challenging or difficult. I just don't mind the challenge or things being difficult, and I just never, ever give up. I don't ever give up, no matter what, no matter how big the challenge. And it's something that I realize that in life is about setting goals for yourself, whatever they are, whatever goal you want. And then, I'll set the goal, and then I'll write a list down of how do I attain that goal? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? What skill do I have to learn to be able to tell that story or learn how to fly an airplane? So I constantly have so many goals for myself, and it's leading me, and I'm driving through life. And to me, life is an adventure, and it's something people ask me, are you afraid when you do things, or are you afraid sometimes? Because there's so many things that I do, and it's like, I feel that. I feel many, many big different emotions. The difference is I don't mind feeling it. And I know that it's just is what it is, and I just keep moving forward through it. So how do I do it? I that's just what I do. And I love people. I love people. And I love what I do. To be here right now, to entertain you. It's like every day I go, I'm so privileged. I know I am. And I never take it for granted. And there's so many beautiful things in this world, and so many adventures and things that I'm interested in. And that's how I feel. And to work with the people that I get to work with, and to be here. I was a kid, 4 years old, dreaming of coming to places like this, dreaming of different cultures. And to be able to experience that and to do this for my whole life, that's what I love. And I just, that's why. So that's why I never stop working so hard. I will do everything I can to be able to entertain you, to give you all of my heart and all of my soul. And that's how I feel about the people that I work with and about life. That's just who I am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And
I'm so glad to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you never ask permission to create. You just keep doing it in every way possible. And keep going.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now on to the next question. This is from Cinema Today. 市川さん。
映画すごく面白かったです。これまでのシリーズのすべての要素をうまくまとめ上げた、まさに集大成になっていると思いました。 でこのストーリーのそもそもの始まりのアイデアはどこから生まれたんでしょうか。監督とトムになんですけれども、であと今回も伝統的な意味での脚本は存在しなかったそうですが、このストーリーを実際どのように組み立てていったのか教えてほしいです。
So this is a question from Yo for Tom and Chris. And well, first of all, the film was just a ball of fun. Thank you very much for making it. And it truly feels like a culmination of all the work you've done. And so she would love to know what the first spark, that first seed of the idea for the film was. And because we heard that it was developed in quite a non-traditional way, can you talk a little bit about developing the screenplay together?
I mean, I don't know what developing anything is traditional. The kind of movies that I've made and how I learned to tell stories is this, and it's a dialogue between us. And you had ideas. I mean, you speak to this. It goes back and forth and evolves.
Yeah, it is the culmination of everything that we've done. In that, every time we go out to do something, we find ourselves working as hard as we can on it, and we're always dissatisfied with the result. We always look at one another and say, we could do better. Every time we finish a movie, right before the credits rolled last night, he turned to me and he went, we can do better. I was like, yes.
He says, I know we can.
I know we can. I know it. Yes, we can. And there's another very important element to it beyond the collaboration with Tom and I. We don't, when we're coming up with the screenplay, we don't write a role and then go looking for the actor. We find actors that we are really interested in working with, and we create those roles with them. So everybody that you're looking at here up on this stage is here because of an extraordinary talent, an extraordinary innate ability. And Mission is a very it's a very tough partner. Mission it takes a lot to make one of these movies. It takes even that much more to make more than one of these movies. And so it's a testament to the fact that everybody sitting up on the stage has been in multiple Mission Impossibles. It's because Mission loves them and what they bring to it. Everything that you're seeing that the actors are doing in this movie, particularly in this movie, there is so much subtlety in the performance, so much nuance, so much humanity, and so much emotion. And a great deal of it is not expressed through dialogue, but through behavior and through their interaction with one another. They are an enormous gift to us. They make the process so much more rewarding and so much more emotional. And it goes back to your question. The initial spark was emotion. The very first conversation Tom and I had when we started with Dead Reckoning, which led to the final Reckoning, was to make a more emotional movie, to take the things we learned from Fallout about emotion and emotional storytelling, injected into an action film about spies and international intrigue. And we wanted to do that not just for Ethan, but for all the characters in the story. And we could not have done it without the people you see sitting on this stage.
And I have to say, his ability to tell a story, to create a story, to be able to just see that talent in artists. Like, he is someone, and he won't say this. The moment I met him, I knew, I was like, I'm going to work with him forever. His understanding of character, his understanding of an artist's voice and the ability to write for them. When you look at Usual Suspects, when you look at the films that he writes, and it's exceptional, his ability to come on and start writing for an actor. And movies used to be made like that. You would have a star or an actor, and films were built around them, and that was done by the studios. I've had to do it personally for myself my entire career, how I choose my movies and build it around artists, and he understands that and he sees it beautifully. He's not just in his room writing a character, he's spending time, and he'll spend time and watch. Those are the things that we're looking for. We want everyone to shine. You know, we love movies that are, anyone making a film with me, I'd hear someone saying, well, it's your movie. And I go, look, stop. Please don't say that. It is our movie. This is your movie as much as it is my movie and McHugh's movie. It's our movie. And your voice is important. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what you want to create. And he has that ability to just so easily write structure, and you see the movement of this piece and his work overall. It's just look at Top Gun Maverick. I mean, all of these things that it's a beautiful, beautiful talent that he has. And so I want you to know that. It's what happens with that. It's not it's written on the page and then you hire people and go shoot it. It's developed, and it takes a perception of humanity. And you have to be able to see and listen to people, what they want to do, and see their abilities. And sometimes their abilities that they themselves don't necessarily see. And you go, there's the light. Let that light out. And then that light translates into a story and translates into an audience enjoying the overall story. And my goal is to help. My goal in life is I want people to do better from having had this experience with us. And so that's what we do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. ありがとうございました。では、もう一つ、we have time for one more question. So this is from オリコンニュース、吉田さん。
オリコンの吉田です。皆さん、ようこそ日本へ。Welcome to Japan. すいません。
Thank you so much. Arigato.
質問なんですけれども、このシリーズ30年続いておりまして、1作目がを作った時にこのシリーズが30年続くと思っていましたかっていうのを聞きたいと思っておりました。
So this is Mizuho, and the question is for you, Tom. When you were making the first Mission film, did you ever imagine that this franchise will be going on strong after 3 decades? If so, why? What made you think so? And if not, why not?
When I was started out, I really wanted my career, even before this, that I would be doing this long. I had hoped, but I also knew, I have to develop my talent and understand. Like, I wanted to understand more and more. I'm very much a student and learning, and I was interested in, like, what's the communication with the audience? And I remember when I made the first Top Gun, everyone wanted to do a sequel to Top Gun. And I was like, I'm not ready to do a sequel to Top Gun. And I felt I need to develop my talent as an actor, as a storyteller, and understand more the language of cinema. And when I first was asked to, I come to Paramount by a woman named Sherry Lansing. She was the first female president of a studio. And I met her when I did TAPS when I was 18 years old. And she knew my passion for movies, and she has been very generous with me and supportive of me. And she said, come to Paramount. And it was a moment where I was ready to produce a movie, and I looked at their library and I said, I'm going to make Mission Impossible. Now, you have to understand, when I first decided to do Mission Impossible, everyone was like, what are you doing a TV series? And there's questions, and I was very interested in testing. I'm always very interested in testing my abilities, my talents, and what kind of producer will I be? And, I always want to be the best that I can be. So when I did the first Mission, I did think it would be, how would I do the next one? What would I do? How would this evolve? And so they wanted another one, and I was like, I felt ready at that time to try another one and produce another one. And then I was ready to do another one with the third one. And then after doing all 3, I reevaluated just the series and kind of what was working, what the audience enjoyed, what I enjoyed doing and developing. So I did hope that this would happen. I mean, it's something that is, to be able to meet Christopher McQuarrie and to have it evolve the way that we wanted, because I always wanted to go like, when I'm making a movie, sometimes people say, well, you're in it, Tom, it's going to work. Even when I was a kid, I was like, no, stop. I never, ever say that to me. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean that it's going to work, that the story is going to work, the characters. Please don't say that. Don't anyone take that for granted. We all have to focus and work hard and make it just like it's there. So every time, that's what we want to do. And to work with Christopher McQuarrie, someone who has that ability and has that same dedication and love of storytelling. And it's also something where we go, you know, you want to take everything that you've learned and apply it to the next, everything you've learned and apply it to the next. So I have a saying that is like, pressure is a privilege. And it's something that we remind ourselves every day. So yes, I hoped that we would be here. Yes, I hope that each film, I want to make each one better and better and better within the Mission series, but also with everything that we do. Everything that I do, I want that, whatever genre we're working in, I want to take that and apply it to the next film, the next film, the next film, those experiences. And so when you look at my career overall, whether it's aerial photography or underwater sequences or a drama or a comedy, it is something that I have studied and applied and tried to make it better, whether I started out with Risky Business and then I'm doing, you know, a drama with Color of Money, action and Top Gun, and then evolving to my first production and playing a vampire. Everything I'm doing, I go in and I study that. I study it, and I study the history of that, and then I try to find out how to apply it to make the best possible film. So, sorry to go on so much, but yes, I had hoped to be here. In this way, it's beyond my dreams, and I'm very grateful to Christopher McQuarrie and our relationship, McHugh, because that passion and his ability making these kinds of films, and it's a Swiss watch, the detail of this, and his understanding of that kind of structure that it takes, and the work that it takes to get each and every moment, and how he has taken it and expanded, you know, to this level. It's tremendous, and I'm very grateful, McHugh. I'm very grateful to you. You're amazing, and to this whole cast, and thank you, and to you all here for allowing me to entertain you. I truly am very grateful. I've been doing this since I was 18 years old, and you have supported me and come to see it, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that will be the end of the Q&A session. So we will like to move on to the photo session. So if you could all please stand up and come to the center. Back seat. If you could wave to the cameras on the back. So this will be the end for the photo session and video session. Thank you very much, and this will conclude. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
どうもありがとうございました。Thank you so much. Please give a round of applause to Tom Cruise, Christopher McQuarrie, Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Pom Clementieff, and Greg Tarzan Davis. Thank you very much. If you could all exit that way. どうもありがとうございました。Thank you very much. Thank you very much.